You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 107. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest is the Director of Youth in Action. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by his story. Let's chop it up with Pierre Mayes. Pierre, how's it going, man?
Man, it's going good. How you doing today?
Glad to hear that, man. All is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, no problem, man. Any chance I get to talk about what I'm doing and what Youth in Action has going on, I try to take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. Of course, here to talk about what you got going on with Youth in Action. But before we go there, let's get to know the man behind the brand. I know you're from the Gump, hometown hero. What was it like growing up in the Gump?
Man, it was cool for me. Grew up Southside Montgomery, Woodley Park. Went to Lanier High School, graduated from Lanier. Went to Alabama State, graduated from Alabama State. So I'm Montgomery through and through.
No doubt, man. Hometown hero through and through. Finished up at the L, came on over to the Alabama State University, the greatest HBCU in the land. What was that? No doubt. What was the HBCU experience like for you?
Man, it was kind of different. Being that I was from Montgomery, I stayed home. So I probably didn't get that college life experience that most get when they go out of town. But it was still kind of different because once you get inside the campus, it was just like you was, out of town. You meet people from all over the country. You building relationships. And that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm from Montgomery too, man. Went to Alabama State and got a chance, to your point, got a chance to meet people from all over. That's what made the experience really dope. Because, of course, we go to high school. Most people we went to high school with, we went to junior high and elementary with. So we pretty much came up from K through 12 for most of those people. So in Alabama State, meeting people from the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, it made just for a great experience over there on South Jackson Street.
Yeah, and I mean, like attending games, the football games, the basketball games, going to the classic, just doing all that type stuff, man, with people that you would meet in college. It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, no doubt. And like just those memories, like football games, like to your point, yeah, man, just creating those lifelong memories with those friendships that you got a chance to build in school. Did you ever hit the Rose Bowl while you was in college?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
That was our thing, man. On the, I think the third Thursdays.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got a chance to experience. I got a chance to experience all of that, man. And then I had a job. I was working at UPS, so and I was working on the preload from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. the whole time I was in school. So I didn't get to go out as much as I wanted to, because I had to go to sleep at night to be ready to go to work in the morning. I used to get frustrated about that, but I knew, what my mission was and, the things that I had to get done. So I just had to stay the course.
That's what it's all about, man. You stayed the course, you graduated, got up out of there, man, did what you had to do. I mean, I partied hard and graduated too, man, but to be honest with you, you didn't really miss anything. It was just you were spending a whole lot of money that you didn't have, because in college, most of us broke. You weren't broke because you had a job, but me and most of everybody else, we were broke, man. We was living off refund checks, trying to ball out.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So what'd you end up getting your degree in from Alabama State?
Man, I ended up getting my degree in physical education. I was coaching basketball for my dad's organization, and kids around the neighborhood. When I first got to Alabama State, I really didn't know, what I wanted to do. What direction to go. So I was just taking classes, in general studies. And once I started coaching and things like that, I was like, well, let me see about this physical education. So I got into physical education, and that's what I graduated with my degree in.
Okay, dope, man. And upon graduating, were you able to land a role in your field?
Nah, actually I didn't. So I was once I graduated, I did 3 years of with the what is it called? in the school when you a paraprofessional. So I did that for 3 years, and I was interviewing for physical education job, but at the time, like the PE teachers, they weren't leaving the jobs, they weren't moving. I guess the jobs were so gravy that they were staying on them. So it was hard for me to get a physical education job, and I got frustrated, and I really just kind of gave up on it, and just started doing case management work, and yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, all good, man. You had to make that pivot. I mean, PE teachers comfortable. They ain't want to retire, so pretty much made it tough for you to land a role. So you got a chance to pivot into case management, and you getting a chance to work with people. And I'm pretty sure you enjoyed doing that, and I'm sure it has its challenges as well. So, what do you enjoy the most about what you do as a case manager?
Man, I work at the Family Guidance Center, and I work with kids ages 17, well, individuals 17 to 24 that have dropped out of high school. So I help them get their high school diplomas, and then we also help them with their resumes and getting jobs. And it's just a joy seeing these individuals that we work with come from the situation that they come from when they're struggling, or whatever the situation is, to being able to get their diploma, to being able to go get those jobs. I had a one of my consumers came to see me about 2 weeks ago, and when he first came into the program, he was having to find rides to the building, to do his classwork and stuff like that. He got his high school diploma, and now he's working out at DYS, and he got a challenger. He came up to the building, and man, Mr. P, I want to show you my car, man. I'm doing good. I'm working and got my own spot. So that to me is a big deal. Helping individuals get to that next phase in their life.
Man, that's dope, man. That's a great story. You was able to have a positive impact on that gentleman's life and help him turn his life around. And pretty much you doing as a case manager what you would have been doing in physical education, like making a difference, leaving an
Right,
impact on
right,
people's
right.
lives.
Right. Yeah, and so that's why I'm not, tripping too hard about it. It is what it is. I think that things happen. I believe that things happen, in people's lives for a reason. And I, couldn't understand at the time, but now, as my life continues to unfold, it's all making sense.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Things happen the way they supposed to. Like we don't always understand why. Like, and in the moment, it's easy to get frustrated. Like you said, you were, and rightfully so. I would have been frustrated as well if I was in your shoes. So there's no judgment there. But things happen the way they're supposed to, and God's plans is always way different than ours. Like we have an idea of where we want to go, how we gonna get there, and I truly believe God laughed at our plans and he take us through some things. He tests us. He makes sure we battle tested. He don't just give us what we want. We gotta go out there and earn it, man. And that's dope that you've been able to make that pivot and do what you do in case management, man. Much respect to you.
And I tell you something else. I really believe that if I would have been able to just land me a PE job, and coach at a school or what have you, I might have gotten content, and I wouldn't be doing as much with my nonprofit as I am. So yeah, I think it was a blessing in disguise.
There you go. Nothing else need to be added to that, man. That's what it's all about. Yes, sir. So youth in action. In your own words, what is youth in action?
Man, Youth in Action is an organization that provides programs to at-risk youth, just to help them get exposure. So when I was a kid coming up, my dad did a lot in the community. He was always coaching kids, and any opportunity he got, he would let it, travel, make sure that we could travel to different places to compete, and so we can get exposure, and so that we can see things in life. And so the biggest thing for me with Youth in Action is being able to give these kids, in this area, in this city, the same opportunities, to travel, to be seen, and so that they can see things, go to different parts of the country, and do things that they never thought that they'd be able to do.
Yes, sir. And that's dope, man. And shout out to Pops, man. Much respect to Pops. I see Mr. Pierre Mayes is the founder. You are the director, and man, much respect to what y'all got going on. Like you said, exposing these kids to different places outside of Montgomery. Montgomery is a beautiful city. Like it's home, but they need to see more than just the Gump. And
Yeah,
and what were some of those cities you remember going to as a child? Like what were some of the memorable trips you remember taking?
man. The most memorable one that stood out the most was when we were in sixth grade and we flew to Salt Lake City, Utah. Um, it was an eye-opening experience for us at a young age. We were only 12. You know, we were traveling around the state, Mobile, Enterprise, Huntsville, places like that. But once we went out to Utah, that was something different. Going to Memphis, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, places like that. It was a really cool experience for us at a young age. The guys that I grew up playing ball with, and like I said, it's just so much opportunity out there, and I want these kids to understand that they don't have to limit themselves to Montgomery. That is more opportunity out there. There's more life out there.
No doubt, man. Wow, man. So Pops had y'all in Salt Lake City, Utah. See, I was expecting you to say Atlanta and Tennessee. You Salt Lake threw me all the way off, but that's
Yeah,
what it's all about, man. Taking you completely out of your normal element, like places you can't drive to. Y'all had to fly there, so you got a
right,
chance to
right.
be on a plane. You had a chance to go to Utah. So it just sounds like, man, that's dope, man. And like it's great that you now being an adult giving back to these kids and being a part of the solution. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times, and myself included, I'm 35 years old and I'm not much and I'm a couple generations, I'm removed from being a kid and stuff like that. And you see these kids on the news getting in trouble, making bad decisions. And I used to be one of the people that's like, man, these kids ain't got no guidance, this and that and third. But I had to realize I can't complain about the problem if I'm not going to be a solution to the problem. So I say that to say to you, man, like I think it's dope that you actually being a solution to the problem because all these kids some of these kids just need a word of encouragement, man. Like keep your head up, keep going, keep your grades up. Cause a lot of them don't have that at home, you know?
Yep, and that's the big thing. A lot of them just need that extra motivation or that extra push. Um, like you said, they a lot of them not getting that at home. Those kind of work. Even if it's just like one thing that I do know that people probably take for granted is saying I love you or getting told I love you. A lot of these kids don't never hear that. And that's a sad reality.
Heck yeah, man, for sure. I can only imagine, like, because some of us are fortunate to grow up in situations where we feel love, we know what love is, and a lot of these kids, to your point, they don't. They never been told, "I love you" or "I'm proud of you" or any of that. So it's great that you all are providing that safe haven for them, that opportunity for them to get exposed to the world and things of that nature. So you, as a director, what are your responsibilities?
I pretty much oversee the entire program, making sure that the programs are running the way they're supposed to, and the events are going the way that they're supposed to go. And then I'm actually a coach on one of our basketball teams. So we had like nine, I think 9 or 10 AAU basketball teams this year. So I actually coached one of the teams while overseeing the entire basketball program and the overall program for Youth in Action.
Wow, overseeing the program and coaching. So you being an athlete, former basketball player, you're a current coach. So what are your thoughts about how the game is transitioning? When we was coming up, the big man touched the ball, it was inside out. Now these cats shoot jacking up threes.
Right.
So do you coach your players to play inside out, old school ball, or have you adapted to the new
Uh,
style of ball?
we've definitely adapted. We go with change, and we grow. Uh, Basketball has been turned into so much of a skill sport that you have to be able to do all things. You looking, like you said, when you watching guys on TV, 6'10", 6'11", big men that's usually back to the basket players outside shooting threes and handling the ball. And that's what we try to get our kids to understand in our program at an early age. We don't want to put limitations on what you can do, no matter how big you are. I think that's one thing that irritates me the most is when somebody sees a kid that's bigger than the rest of the kids, they automatically want to sit them under the goal. You're not doing nothing but hurting that kid because you're not developing his entire game, which he gonna need,
Mm.
as he gets older. So yeah.
Wow, man, that's dope that you all have been willing to pivot and grow with the game. Because, like you said, the game is evolving and putting a kid down on the post. Granted, it's gonna catch the other team by surprise because we're probably accustomed to seeing a big man in the paint. Like back in the day, man, like Shaq and them, man, that's what they was at. Like they weren't jacking no threes like Karl Anthony Towns, but
Right, right.
but it's great that you all have changed with the times and pivoted with the times because if you're not changing, you pretty much staying stagnant. And to your point, you just hurting the kids' growth and just overall confidence.
And then when doing what we do, me and my brother, when we're recruiting kids to play in our program, you know, the kids need to see that the coach is not gonna limit our game. So we on the court, we move with the times, and then off the court, we make ourselves available for the kids to talk to. They come up to us, talk about real life stuff, not just basketball. We want to make all our kids in the program, no matter what sport it is, we want to make them feel comfortable, that they can come talk to us about anything that they have going on, and just continue to grow on that rapport with them.
No doubt, man. Like just being big brothers to them, just being there, like not only just coaching and making them run sprints, but being able to just relate to them and chop it up with them. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Just building those relationships, man, because that's more important than anything. Because I'm pretty sure, but on the flip side, I'm pretty sure y'all keeping it real with them and letting them know, like, oh, y'all not going pro, but the skills and things you learn while you're in this camp, you can use them in life.
Yeah, and yeah, so you always want to be aware of that. But one thing that we tell them and that we preach is about building relationships. So, like you said, all y'all not gonna go pro, right? But when we do our camps, when we build these teams, make these lifelong relationships because you never know what the next man will be doing or how they can help you out. When you all become adults, you might be playing as a 13-year-old kid, you might be on the team with a guy that might end up running a bank, and it might be a situation where you need a loan, for a house or something like that. You all got a good relationship. It's a no-brainer. Man, I'm gonna look out for you, man. You my guy. So we encourage the relationship building. And then, when it comes to school, just staying the course, getting your grades, knowing what you want to do and just handling your business.
No doubt. Y'all teaching them life lessons, man, on top of basketball skills, like you said, to your point, building those relationships, finishing school. And because at the end of the day, you know, of course, I'm sure all of them want to go pro. And at the end of the day, you got to have your fallback plan just in case it don't pan out for you.
Right. So we never tell a kid, that you're not going to do this or that you're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We tell them to what's your backup plan? What else do you like to do? We got one kid right now. We were doing our life skill class, and he's a pretty good basketball player that I think he has a chance. And so we were doing our life skill classes, and the speaker asked the kids what do they want to do, or what do they want to be when they grow up. And of course, all of them saying football player, basketball player. But then they got to this kid, and he's like, he wanted to be an architect, and they really stood out to me because he already has it figured out. He's not gonna rely on basketball, or that's gonna be, his end all be all. He already knows what he wants to do. And I think that that's big, and I think that these kids need to be exposed to different things so that they can have an idea of what they want to do, because the money is out here. The money is out here. You just have to have a plan and know what you're trying to do, to be able to get to it.
Yes, sir. No doubt. No doubt. So speaking of exposure, what are some cities you've been able to set up for these kids to go visit?
Man, in the last 3 years, we've traveled. Our basketball team has traveled to Hampton, Virginia, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, Las Vegas, and then in the southeast, well, in our little region, Atlanta. Birmingham, places like that. Then our track team has competed in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Junior Olympics, and also Houston, Texas. And so when we take these trips, we try to find time best we can to be able to tour the city or go to some meaningful places that will impact them. When we went to Greensboro, North Carolina this past summer, um, at the beginning of July, we actually got a chance for the kids to go to North Carolina A&T campus. And that's one of the most known, probably one of the most well-known HBCUs in the country. So they got a chance to tour the campus and kind of learn about and take some pictures on the campus. So that was a pretty cool experience for them.
Man, that's amazing. Taking them all over the world, Vegas, North Carolina, Atlanta, Houston, man, that's so dope. And I know they just be mind blown to get outside of Montgomery and see something different.
Yeah, and that's what we do. And we with our basketball team, we are fortunate enough to have some of the backing that we do from the supporters in the community. That we're able to when we went to Virginia, Hampton, Virginia, Las Vegas, and even this year going to North Carolina, we were able to take all the parents that wanted to go. We covered their hotel expenses so that they could see, what is actually going on. Because when I first started coaching, we used to travel, but we were only taking the players. So the parents, weren't around and they really couldn't see what we were doing. But as time goes on, we figure out a plan to get the parents more involved. And we going to Las Vegas and we flying, and I think we purchased like 20 plane tickets for the kids and the chaperones to make sure that all of those were on the flight together. But like 15 or 16 hotel rooms, and every kid had their parents there with them. And I think that was big, because on them trips, the parents talking to the kids saying, they could be in their ear like, this is what you need to be trying to do, or you see this, you could do this, you can do that. So it's just about exposing the kids and the parents to what's going on out here.
Man, that's great. That's next level right there. Not only the kids, but getting mom and pop on those trips so they get a chance to see what's going on, man. That's great. Like y'all taking it to the next level. And I see Youth in Action been around since 1995. So Pop's been rocking and rolling with this for almost 30 years, man. That's powerful.
Yeah, when we first started, like I said, he started as a resource to the YMCA, just steering kids to the YMCA or to the baseball league and things of that nature. And then we got into this AAU basketball when I was younger, 11, 12. And once I graduated high school, I think like a year after that, he asked me about coaching some kids in the neighborhood, and we started doing that. And one thing just led to another. It started off with basketball. Then we implemented a golf program and then some after school educational things. And then we added track, and now, everything is just coming full circle.
Yeah, man. Like it's just amazing just seeing the history and just seeing just on you all's website, just seeing how you all have evolved and continue to grow, continue to expand. So you've done great things as a director of Youth in Action as well as a coach. And I know great things are coming down the pipeline. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals as a director and coach?
My goal right now is we're about to push a campaign to get a building. Because right now, when we, like, for instance, when we have back to school, I mean, education programs or practices and things like that, we have to reach out and try to find, somewhere to host whatever we're doing. And sometimes that can be kind of hard finding a location. Trying to depend on others and their schedule. So we want to be able to house our whole program in one building, with a basketball court, with training equipment and space for after school, educational programs.
Dope, man. That's a dope goal. And man, I have no doubt y'all gonna pull it off. Y'all gonna make it come to fruition.
Yeah, we putting it in the universe, man, and I'm a firm believer of what you put out is what you get in.
No doubt, man. That's good stuff. Powerful stuff. As we wrap up the podcast, Pierre, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast to highlight the greatness connected to the city, whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work. You being a hometown hero, what makes you the most proud to be from the Gump?
What makes me most proud to be from the gun? Hey, I'm gonna be honest, man. You see all the crime and all the negativity, that comes with that, or that you hear about. The first thing people say is how do you live there? All the crime, all the killings and things like that. Be us doing what we're doing, making a difference in these kids' lives, making a change and having an impact. That's what makes me most proud of being from Montgomery, a place that a lot of people when they graduate high school they try to get out of here. They want to get away and never look back. And for whatever reasons, and everybody has their reasons, but for me, being able to take this program to the next level in the Gump, that I'm really proud to be from the Gump. Like I want to make a statement here. I want to have a lasting mark on this community and this city forever.
Man, that's some powerful stuff, man. And you really hit the nail on the head with people leaving the city after they finish school. And hey, that's well within their right, man. But like the fact that you were willing to stay home and build this program from home, man, like that's dope, man. And that's very commendable because you could have easily went to an Atlanta or Houston and built a similar program, but you stayed home. What made you want to stay home?
I just feel like I just had to give back. So, like I said, I was put in a position where I was blessed, to be exposed and to see a lot, and it did a lot for my life. And it just wouldn't feel right if I could have this program and be doing it somewhere else versus doing it here. It worked for me. It worked for some of the guys that I grew up with, and it could work for our future. And right now, seeing what the youth are doing in our city, and hearing all the negativity, like it's only right. I could have been moved to. I coached in Atlanta for like 8 years. The opportunities were there, but it just didn't seem right. I just felt like I needed to get this done in Montgomery for the city.
That's powerful stuff, man. And once again, that's commendable, man. Like basically, like you said, giving back and paying it forward to the community that gave you an opportunity, that gave you a shot, that raised you.
Yep, that's it. And I just want to give the next child that same opportunity. Because you never know. You can't save them all. You can't save them all. You're gonna lose some of them. But it could be that one. That you impact, that you change their life forever, and your job here on earth is done.
No doubt. No doubt. So how can the people connect with you, Pierre? What are your social media handles and website?
Our website is www.youthact. That's youth, the letter NACT.org. We're on Instagram at youth underscore in action. We can be reached via email at info@youthact.org. And then Facebook, we're there, Youth in Action.
Yes, sir. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Pierre, thanks again for the conversation, man. I really appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.